Okay, well, thank you very much, Ali. And thanks very sincerely to Ali for making our lives extremely easy in this event. It's solved a lot of problems for us. So I just want to welcome everyone to the conference. We were all on the committee absolutely delighted with the response to the conference. It's a very large online conference, and I think it's a really great expression about the strength of the sociological research community. So thank you all for being here. This has obviously been a big wait for us. Like we've waited 2 years between our conferences, so it's great to finally get together again. Um, yeah, and just to say that I think it's all about the participants, really. I hope you find this a very nice event. I hope you find it very stimulating. And really, the strength of the conference, it comes from the participants. So we're delighted that you're here. So a very, very big welcome to everybody. Just also like to say a very big welcome to the keynotes. We have our keynotes attached for an unprecedentedly long period of time because we invited them 2 years ago and they were good enough to stick with us over these 2 years and they're with us again. But when we were thinking about the keynotes, we thought about who we wanted, our top picks, and they all said yes. It was great. We were so happy with that. And welcome to Sally and to Fran and to Kieran and to Katie. I know some of you are with us now. Uh, we should just say that it's a great line of topics because the topics that they're covering, I think, is a brilliant expression about the challenges that our society are facing. I think the spread of topics is very, very, very illustrative of where we are. It doesn't cover everything, we can't, but I mean, when we think about the constitutional uncertainty, North and South, which Katie Hayward will be speaking to, when we think about like racial inequality and discrimination, which Francis McGinnity will be speaking to, when we think about rural communities and regional disparity, which Sally Shorthall will be speaking to, and we think about what we're all very excited about, that we're hopefully exiting the pandemic and the lockdown, and Kieran Keohane is going to address what the future could be for our society. I think these are really excellent themes, and we were just really delighted that the keynotes are with us and speaking on those topics. I'd like to move on to just quickly talk a little bit about the SAI and what we're trying to achieve and our underlying ethos. We also have a lot of things that are happening, but underlying all of that, I think, is the spirit of what we're trying to achieve. The most simple way to say what we're trying to do and what we are is we're the Professional Association of Sociologists in Ireland. It is our job to try and promote the discipline, to try and protect the discipline. And that's what we work very hard at doing. More specifically, what we're trying to do is we're trying to shine recognition on great work that is happening. We're trying to disseminate information so that people know what's happening and people can engage in the kind of great networks and research which is happening. We're trying to provide community. We're trying to provide social capital to our members, something we're all very interested with. We're trying to stimulate kind of the culture, the research culture, the status, the respect that the discipline is held in. And we're trying to think about really kind of the underlying identity of the discipline. Then in terms of the SCI, we are the professional association for sociology in Ireland. It's very important to emphasize that we are completely voluntary though. Everybody in the committee gives their time entirely voluntarily. People take no expenses. I think that's very important for the ethos. I think it's a very strong expression of the commitment that the sociological community has and the willingness of people to volunteer, because people are always moving into the committee and people do their time and they move on. So I think it's very important. I think it's very important for the discipline because of our need to be skilled in terms of practically organizing as a discipline and as a community, because it's not just about our kind of individual research networks and it's not just about us and our kind of individual research dreams. We need people with practical skills for organizing and creating the frameworks and the institutions that our research takes place in. And that is, I think, what the committee is working at all the time. And hopefully people are reasonably content with the job we're doing. So as well, like we're trying to kind of reconcile certain things which are hard to reconcile. And that's the nature of any association. We try to bridge kind of contradictory needs which we have. Because when we think about sociology, our job is to promote and protect sociology as a profession. But when we think about our discipline, it's also a discipline which is uniquely fluid and open in terms of its boundaries. And it has to be like that way because sociology is discursive, it's public, it's participatory, it's seeking to be activists, and it can't be a discipline that is trying to have very strict hierarchies and very, very highly policed boundaries. It has to be open. So this is a contradiction that we have to try and play with all the time, but it's something that we are always considering. Um, we also have to think about, related to that, the pressures that we're always under as individual researchers to specialize. Sociology, it's the fundamental interdiscipline. And as we seek to develop our careers, of course, we have to specialize and we have to go more and more and more into our very focused topic. But I think the SAI is all about trying to have a center that holds, because we need to stay connected, of course, to the fundamental traditions of our discipline. We have to stay connected to the current debates about those traditions. We need to preserve the concepts, the kind of key perspectives that have been developed in our research and which unifies us. We need to stay connected to the methodological innovations that sociology has led. So we need to kind of maintain the center against this pressure, which we all have towards specialization. And that's another thing that we're trying to do. We're also trying to kind of preserve this bridge between the literal concrete existence that we have in a locality, in a place. Like we're all in, some of us are in our spare bedrooms, some of us are in office spaces. Like we all exist somewhere. You know, we exist on this island. We exist as part of kind of concrete networks. We exist in our cities and our townlands and in our communities. So we have an obligation towards these concrete local existences that we have. But at the same time, sociology is again open. We have a very large diaspora. We're a very diverse discipline. We are absolutely not insular, and we do not want to be insular. We want to be connected to the world, and we want to be respecting and focusing on diversity. So we have to think about these things as well, and we try and achieve that. Finally, I would say that we are very conscious of our need to preserve the integrity of high quality research. This obviously puts a big emphasis on excellence. But one thing that the SAI I think has always been good at, and that is very important, is that we focus on sociability and conviviality as an underpinning to what we do. Because we need friendship, we need community, we need social supports. We have a profession of academia, which is inherently competitive, which leads us scrambling for the same positions, and that can put us under pressure and sometimes lead us to disappointments. But for our job and for our activity to be satisfying, we need community, and we really hope that the SAI serves that purpose. I was really struck by something that Anne Byrne said at the SAI postgrad conference in 2020. She said that when she was a young researcher, the SAI was her home. And that was kind of a thing that kind of struck a chord with me. And it would be great if young researchers and mid-career researchers and senior sociologists continue to feel that way. And we hope that we can provide that. So this is, I think, what we're trying, this is who we are. And this is what we're trying to achieve. We're always going to do that in an imperfect way, but I hope we do it to the best of our ability. Okay, so in terms of brass tacks, so that's the vision part. But now what is the reality? What have we actually been doing? So I think the focus of the SAI is virtuous circles. We have lots of things, we have lots of irons at the fire, we have lots of things going on, and we're hoping that we are building these to kind of feed into each other in a positive way, to build the institution of the discipline and the association, and also to build the community and the participation. When we're doing these things, we're trying to give value to our members. So we try every year, we have fixed expenses. We have a journal, which is expensive to produce. We have other fixed costs, and we have to meet those things. We have to run the association well, but we try and do that at the cheapest we possibly can. So we try to have a small surplus every year. We hope you find good value in our activities. I think people are. I don't want to steal Hazel's thunder, but if we look at the membership, it's gone up from 85 in 2019 to 114 in 2020 to 173 today, I think. So I think it's really good sign of progress. And I would say, saying that, it's been very easy to run the association, taking over from Lucy and past presidents, because I took over an association and the committee took over an association that is already extremely well run. So much was put in place which made our lives so easy and to build on. So yeah, so what are we doing then with these goals? Well, what we're trying to do is we got the conference. Obviously, you haven't seen us in a while, but we're back and we're going to have a great time. And I think learn a lot from each other at this conference. A lot has happened this year with second level sociology. This has been a big initiative this year. We all know that sociological thinking, the sociological discipline, even just kind of general philosophical thinking is something that's been very inhibited in Ireland. The SAI is founded much later than other national sociological associations, and it's much less rooted in the educational system in Ireland. So Lisa Moran is the second level sociology officer, and her, along with Marianne O'Kane Bowl and Amy Brennan, have been doing great work in this. We have interviews with the young scientist winners who did their kind of great research on gender stereotypes in education. We have a panel at this conference on second level sociology and the needs of politics and society teachers. We have the Young Sociologist of the Year Award, which was won by Martha Rowe in Greystones with a great essay. And there's a whole range of other things happening there, which I think is extremely positive for thinking about like the roots of the discipline and how it is reaching out beyond universities and third level institutions into education at large. We had our postgraduate conference, which was brilliant. We had 20 postgrad presentations, and it was a great event. Some of them are presenting here again today, but the quality was exceptional. It was a bit frightening looking at what the new generation of sociologists are and the quality that is there and the research that's happening. It was a really nice event, and we should say kind of a special note about Anne Burke, who has stepped down this year as the postgrad representative, because she really made that conference happen. And it was really her tastes in terms of keynotes and in terms of the theme of the conference, which really set it up to be a really nice event. And we're missing Anne this year. We have this annual conference. We're here now. As I said, this is going to be great. Another thing we're doing, of course, is the study groups. And the study groups have been brilliant over the last 2 years because it's filled out the calendar of the SAI. It's allowing people to focus on their specialism throughout the year. And I would say like a huge thank you to the conveners of the study groups, because they've really brought a huge amount of energy and allowed people to kind of stay in contact with their individual topics throughout the year. And the study groups have done amazing stuff in terms of bringing panels to this conference. So I won't go through all of them because it'll take me a while. Some of them have very long names, so it would take a long time to say it all, but there's 7 of them. Thank you very much. And to say to people at large, we are ready for more. So we have 7 study groups at the moment covering methodology, covering kind of individual topics. We're ready for more applications. We'll do a call, and if you're interested, please get in touch. We're also trying to do our best with communication. So we have a stalled podcast, which is going to ramp up again. We have our Twitter, we have our newsletter, we have the website. A nice thing that's happened this year has been our magazine, the Sociological Observer. The focus here has been to give people the opportunity to address current topics with kind of long form articles, not quite journal articles, much shorter, so we can kind of have punchy sociological impacts. And this has been, to use the word impacts twice in the same in following sentences. It has been very impactful. It's the recent Black Lives Matter issue has had a huge level of interest, and it's been received very well. And hopefully it makes some contribution to debates as well. And our final activity, which is probably our crucial one, is the Irish Journal of Sociology, which is the major showcase for sociological research in and about Ireland. It's a generalist sociology journal, covering every topic, but it's very important for us SAI members because it showcases a lot of our research. And I need to say a huge thank you to the editors in Queen's University and in Ulster University who've taken it over from UCD. UCD built it up to be a great journal over the couple of years, and Queen's have really built on that now, and it's really going from strength to strength, which is, again, I think a really nice sign of the strength of the sociological discipline in Ireland. Just looking forward to, we're looking forward to this conference, but in a little bit of a longer term point of view, we should just highlight 2023, because 2023 is going to be the 50th anniversary of the Sociological Association of Ireland. We are much younger than other sociological national sociology associations. I think the Dutch one is 1936. France has had one since 1924. The British Sociological Association was founded really after World War II, linked with the foundation of the welfare state there. We're only 50 years old. We're only 48 years old. So we're looking ahead to our 50th, though. A lot has happened in 50 years, and I think the next couple of conferences will be, I think, a really nice celebration of everything that has been achieved over those years. So just final words is just say thank you to everybody who has worked so hard over the last year to make the SAI and its events. I'll thank you, Ali, for reminding me that I need to wind this up. And I would just like to thank Lucy in particular as the past president. Lucy is a rock and a store of knowledge. Amy Healy is stepping down as treasurer, and Amy knows how everything works in terms of the complicated financial and organizational side of things. Kira, who's taken over as the treasurer. Lorcan keeps our email and our minutes very well organized. Hazel, the membership has been a dream in terms of keeping that managed. Lisa Smith, who is the IGS representative, she's our conduit to the editorial team, and she's brilliant to work with. Lisa Moran, as I mentioned, has done amazing things with second level sociology. And then we have ordinary members, but they're actually extraordinary members. Lucy is the past president there. Matt Crichton, Egla Gashut, Susan McDonnell, Amin Sharifi Islu, Jared Boucher, and everyone is pitching in and doing really great things. So just a big thank you to everybody, and thank you to the helpers in this conference who have volunteered to help in the help desk. Thank you very much to the individual university departments, because there's been a lot of messages of support and asking how they can pitch in and support, and we really appreciate that. So that's it really. I hope you have a excellent conference. I hope you enjoy it. I hope everyone's papers go very well. I hope we all learn a lot from each other. And I hope we do kind of create that kind of convivial, sociable, supportive atmosphere that I think we've always done well in the SCI, and we want to continue that now. So thank you very much. And I look forward to chatting to everybody as we get into the conference.